Good evening.
Good evening.
We are the Gossiping Book Wenches.
We are wenches that gossip about books.
And today we are discussing our 2025 reads in award show style. With help from my alter ego, Pelodius. And so with that, let's get into it. I've come up with some stupid award show categories. I will tell you the nominees, explain a little bit about them, and we will announce the award. The first category is Best Creature, as in a non-human entity. So the first creature I am nominating is Syl, the Spren from the Stormlight Archive, specifically Rhythm of War, because this is the one I've read this year. If you know, Syl is the cutest little companion that there could be. I can't really tell you too much without going into spoilers on that one. Next, I am nominating the actual creature from Frankenstein. There was so much more insight to the monster than I thought there would be going into this book. You get his literal POV, and you really feel for him. Next, I have Milan, the Kandra from the Mistborn Era 2 universe. I am a huge fan of just Kandras in general, and Milan was so different than the Kandras that we met in the first Mistborn era, and she was so funny and entertaining, and that's why she gets this nominee. And then I have Andarna from Onyx Storm. If you're living under a rock, Fourth Wing is a dragon book, and Andarna's the cutest little dragon from that book.
She is the cutest little dragon.
And the last one I have is Samson from Slewfoot. I'm nominating him because his arc follows the character that kind of doesn't remember their past and is trying to figure it out and are kind of going through a crisis, and it's always just fascinating to read about to me. So that is my nominees. Let's go to Pelodius with the winner. I need the books. Familia, get my books. The winner for Best Creature is Milan from Bands of Mourning.
I don't think I actually have that many creatures in my books. Besides like vampires, but they feel like too human. So my nominees are, I'm so mad you got to it first, Andarna from Onyx Storm.
She's cute.
She is cute. And you got to it again, Syl from Way of Kings. And the Kandra from book 2 and 3 of Mistborn series.
Yes.
And I think I'm gonna just leave it at that because I don't have any more creatures other than that. So, Pelodius.
Oh. The winner for the other one. Andarna from Onyx Storm.
A great winner.
Yes.
A great winner indeed.
Thank you, Pelodius.
Yes,
thank you. Next category I have is Best Book Hangover. So this is a book that you could not stop thinking about, and it kind of ruined reading for a little bit because anything you read after it just sucks. I have 3 that go into this category. The first one, another mention of Onyx Storm. The third book of this series was my favorite so far, and it ends on a cliffhanger, which they all do, so it just keeps you thinking about it. Also, this one really opens up a lot of threads to things that could happen in the future, so you just are constantly theorizing, and the whole internet was also theorizing, so I was just stuck in a hole binging through everybody's videos and could not stop thinking about this one for a while. So Onyx Storm is my first nominee.
I agree.
Next, I have one of my long anticipated reads of the year, Sunrise on the Reaping. I binged this book. It was like coming home to one of my favorite nostalgic childhood series. It really, really gave me everything I wanted. I was so excited to read about Haymitch's story. It was heartbreaking, entertaining, devastating, and also could not stop thinking about this one after I put it down. Literally still wake up thinking about this one sometimes. The last book that I have for Biggest Book Hangover is Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I read this one literally in a day too, and it made me want to buy a telescope. And I did buy a telescope.
It's true. Insert the video here.
Yes, and I cannot listen to Space Oddity without thinking of this book now, and it was great. Pelodius with the winner. Oh. Yes, the Best Book Hangover, Onyx Storm.
Thank you, Pelodius. Such a good winner. Once again, I almost spilled everywhere. What if I destroyed all of our books? I would cry. This is unfair because I feel like you keep getting to all the books that I'm going to say before I do. So I agree. My nominations are Onyx Storm and Sunrise on the Reaping. For sure, for sure, for sure. This one was heartbreaking. This one is where I really realized that Miss Rebecca Yarros was playing chess instead of checkers. And I was really, really, really invested, where I was not so much in like the first book, even though I liked it. And then I'll have to say the ending of The Hero of Ages definitely had me wanting to take a breather from reading.
So good.
It was such a good ending.
Yeah.
It was a very profound ending that just makes you like think, and just the way it all came together was so beautifully written that, yeah, this one definitely put me in a book slump. I guess my last one would be The Handmaid's Tale.
Ooh.
It was very beautifully and tragically written.
That show
and
put
that
me
show
in a
was
book
amazing.
hangover.
Yeah.
A show hangover of sorts.
The show was amazing.
So
I recommend it. I recommend the book. Pelodius.
Hers is Hero of Ages.
Great choice.
All right, the next one I have is I'm Not Mad, I'm Just Disappointed. I will say every book that I've nominated in this category, I didn't hate. I still enjoyed them. They just did not live up to my expectations. So the first one I have for that one is Piranesi. Everyone that reads this is obsessed and are like, you have to read this, it's 5 stars. You have to go into it blind. I went into it blind and I came out of it blind. I'm still so confused. But this book, the writing is beautiful. Piranesi is a little sweet baby angel, but you will be confused for the first 100 pages, and it's intentional. You're not gonna know what the heck is going on. Not a bad book. I think upon reread, I might actually like it better. It just didn't meet my expectations because I went into it thinking that it might be a 5-star read, and it just was not. My next nominee for this is Fearless. This is the 3rd book in the Powerless trilogy. I read this whole trilogy this year, and like I thought Powerless was so cute. I ate it up, and then they kind of progressively just got worse to me.
I agree.
Still enjoyed reading this one. Kai, still fantastic. Love him. My biggest qualm with this one was that there was a character that I've been waiting to see that was introduced in like a previous novella, and I feel like he didn't come into fruition as much as I would have wanted him to come into fruition. The last one I have for this category is Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. I absolutely love Emily Henry books and her writing, and this one also had great writing, but the plot, it felt very Evelyn Hugo-esque, and so I was very intrigued because I love that book. But I found myself not caring one bit about the timeline of the past, and I was more focused on the timeline that was in the present day with the budding relationship. Wasn't my favorite, wasn't bad, just I've been giving 5 stars to all Emily Henry books, and this one was a little bit of a miss for me. Pelodius.
Pelodius.
Oh. The winner is Fearless.
I don't know if we should clap for that one. A little disappointing. Oh. Yes. I do have a lot of books that were just, I'm not mad, I'm disappointed. However, I have one book that I am raging mad at that I don't care about nothing else, and all I just need to say is Fearful, not Fearless. Fearful, the novella that came after this.
She was disappointed.
I'm pointing like I read it. I did not read it.
I should have DNF'd it, but it like goes further than that. I really, truly wish I never even read it. I don't know what was going on there. That was like a cash grab. I don't know. Pathetic, I didn't like it. The trilogy is super cute, but Fearful, man, devastation. Don't do it. If you didn't read Fearful yet, just don't do it.
For some reason, her saying don't do it makes me want to read
I know
it.
I'm trying
I haven't
to
read
warn
it
you.
yet,
I'm
but I'm
trying
very
to
curious
warn you.
now.
If you agree with me or if you don't disagree with me, let us know in the comments because I have a very visceral anger and I just like it. I don't even need to go to Pelodius, so we're just gonna move on to the next one.
The next category is Sleep is for the Weak award, and these are books that make you just want to stay up binging them all night because they were just that good. My first nominee is, of course, Rhythm of War by Brandon Sanderson. If you ever read anything by him, you know like the last at least 100 pages is like whoosh, just avalanche of fast-paced action, and this one is no different. Next, I have, again, Onyx Storm. Like I said previously, the ending was good. Left you on a cliffhanger.
This book ended where you went flip and there was nothing there, and then you were like flip.
Yeah.
And then you went flip.
And then you want to just reread it again.
And then you were like, what?
Yeah.
That's how it ended.
Exactly the trajectory
Yes.
of reading the end of this book.
I was like, wait, where is it? I got a misprint. I got a misprint, surely.
Next one I'm adding As Good as Dead. This series in general, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, was so bingeable and so fun to read. And like the trajectory that the second half of this book took me by complete surprise, and I had to know what was happening, and it was so good. Highly recommend this series. My last nominee is, again, Sunrise on the Reaping. Obviously, it was good. Amazing. Pelodius.
Pelodius.
You me my place. I'll make goose. What was this category? What was this category? Sleepers for the week. Yes. Rhythm of War. Of course. Sandra Lange. Never miss. Yes. So I hear.
A good choice. Yes.
So stupid.
Sleep is for the weak. Honestly, that's me with every book, even if it's not a great book, because I'm just a binger and that's just who I am as a human being, and I stay up all night anyway. But if I had to name a few and nominate a few, I would definitely say The Way of Kings. It is book 1 of the Stormlight Archives, which she's a little further ahead than me. And the ending of this book was fantastic. This actually was one of my few 5-star reads of the year. And I definitely was riveted and up all night reading this one by the end. I'm gonna throw a thriller in there.
We laugh because she's been talking about this book so much.
I feel like I'm gonna overhype it. But really, this book had me gripped from start to finish. It
really is a great thriller.
It's like a Scream style slasher thriller where this girl thinks that she's being stalked by the author of a book that she thought was terrible and gave it a 1-star review. Basically, Lauren Roberts is going to stalk me and attack me now because of my fearful review, because that's basically how she reviewed the book that she read in this book. And she's getting stalked, and it's just like the entire book is like the climax of a scary movie. Like it gets going from the beginning. And so I was literally like almost one sitting. I thought A Dawn of Onyx was actually super, super cute. It's a trilogy, it's finished, it's not that many pages per book, and so I really popped off on this one. I was traveling at the time, so that might be a factor, but I just thought it was delightful and very cute and a very easy read, not too much lore heaviness, and yeah, I stayed up all night reading this one. Oh, obviously, the entire Mistborn trilogy. They started slow to me, to be honest, but towards the end, like the Sandra Lange of every single one had me up all night. I think you have text messages from me at like 3 a.m. being like, what? So
it was always funny, like seeing what time she sent me things when I woke up in the morning. I was like,
yeah, I definitely have photographic evidence of being up all night on those ones. So those are my nominees. And with that, Pelodius.
Yes. The Way of Kings. Same universe. They both lost lots of sleep over it.
The next category is Best Literary Fiction, because I've read a lot of literary fiction this year, and it's becoming a genre that I actually really like. She ain't gonna have nothing that's in this genre, I bet.
What is literary fiction
All right.
even? I don't even know what that is.
What the frick? The first one is Husbands and Lovers by Beatrice Williams.
That looks boring.
Exactly why I said she's not going to have any. She doesn't
Yeah.
like reading about real life.
No, I do
She
not.
likes reading about fantasy,
Yeah.
which like I do too, but I also
I
like
get bored.
both.
I don't want real life.
This one follows a woman whose son gets poisoned by a type of mushroom. And it kind of leads into her trying to find a kidney donor for him. But that also puts her in a rabbit hole of going through her ancestry. So you're following 2 timelines of her mom who was living in Egypt, and then her timeline now where she's also kind of rekindling a flame from her past. So dual timeline. This is one that everything like comes together satisfyingly at the end, and I really enjoyed it. Why were you laughing?
Because that sounded so random. Like, I would have never guessed that that's what that was about.
Right? It looks just like a fun little beach read, but there's a lot
that's
more
so
depth.
random. That sounds so random.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Speaking of not looking like what they would be, Lessons in Chemistry, this cover is very deceiving because this was kind of pretty dark.
Really? Because it
Yeah.
totally is giving like Hallmark.
Yeah.
That's why I judge. I unfortunately do judge books by covers,
Yeah.
and these are giving Hallmark movies in book form to me, which I'm not saying that they are. I never read them, but
There were some events in here that really took me by surprise and were kind of devastating. It follows a woman in the 1960s, so she's a woman in STEM in the 60s, so obviously she's going to go through some hardships and struggles. In the beginning, you see that she is hosting like a cooking show, so you're like, what the heck, how did that come into fruition? So there's a bunch going on there. It was really good. I liked it. It was a cute one and done. Next, I have The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison. This was so good, let me tell you. Everybody always says like Toni Morrison has beautiful writing, and it really checked out. Even I was just surprised with dialogue. Oh, I was like, why are you pickwicking at me? Even like the dialogue between characters just felt so real. Like she's very good at writing realistic people that feel like they could be in everyday life. This is kind of in the time period which is after like slavery, but before civil rights. So it's kind of like that in between purgatory time, and you're following a little black girl who definitely has so much hate and injustice thrown at her that it's so frustrating the entire time. But fantastic book, 5-star read. That's one that literally still think about to this day, and I read that like
That
the
sounds
beginning of
nice.
this year. The last one I want to nominate is The Coin, which I've talked about in a previous video. It follows a Palestinian woman living in New York City, and it kind of shows her descent into madness, and it was really good. It was one that really didn't have much of a plot. It was just following this lady's everyday life, but it was very fascinating. Highly recommend. All right, Pelodius.
Pelodius.
Of course. I've heard great things. The Bluest Eye is the winner.
I think I've looked in a different direction. Like, every time.
This next category is Best Horror / Thriller, and we're combining forces for this one because we don't have much to put in the categories. Well, the Best Horror, I'm gonna start strong with Frankenstein here. Checks out, see why it was so popular. Mary Shelley's a cool author.
The Last Word, once again, we've talked about this, you know, okay? And then I read Nocticadia. It's a standalone dark romance, but like, do you think that counts? It's definitely leaning like dark romance, but there's definitely like body horror and stuff in it, so I'm counting it. And I ate this book up. I thought I would not like it. This was my first like dark romance, and I thought it would be like too much for me maybe, but it was fine. And I really liked the plot of this book, and I feel like for a standalone it was pretty rounded out and closed up pretty good. And it's about this girl whose mom dies 4 years prior. In the prologue, as she dies, like worms come out of her mouth, and it's really gross. And for like 4 years she's kind of gaslit that that's not really what happened, and 4 years later she makes a school project about these worms and finds out that it is a real disease, and so she ends up getting a scholarship to go somewhere and study it. Very dark academia horror, body horror situations.
I have another one to
Okay,
nominate,
yes,
and
go
that
ahead.
is Slewfoot. If you like witch trial type books and Puritan village culture, highly recommend. I rated that one like 4.5 stars. Really good horror.
Just to throw it in there, this one's I would say this is on the lighter side, but the vibes were just really fun. It's The Last Time I Lied by Riley Sager. It was a thriller that was this summer camp vibes, and it was based around a girl whose camp bunkmates went missing when she went to the camp like a decade prior, and she ends up going back to the camp as a counselor 10 years later, and she's full of PTSD, and the reason she goes back is because she wants to figure out what happens to them. So the ending wasn't like the most wowing, but it was a really good ride.
Pelodius.
I just got word that we don't have the physical copy because our familiar has it at his home. But the winner was Slewfoot. Familiar, come here for your punishment. The other one chose the last word.
And that takes us to our grand finale, which is just the best book of the year that we've read in 2025.
I only have 2 because I only have 2 5-star reads of this entire year.
That's crazy.
I'm kind of stingy.
I had a really good book year, actually.
I enjoyed a lot of the books I read this year. I'm just very, very stingy with the 5-star, to be honest.
Depends on my mood. Sometimes I'm
Yeah.
like, you get 5 stars, you get 5 stars, and other times I'm like, not you.
My like baseline is everything's 4.25 stars.
Yeah.
I don't.
Well,
know
I
why.
have some in this category that I did not rate 5 stars, but
I'm
just
doing
highly
5 stars, that's
enjoyed,
it.
you know?
Yeah.
I have a few that I haven't talked about yet in this category, and so we'll start with those. The first one I'm nominating is Babel by R.F. Kuang. This is a dark academia fantasy book. It was the first book I've read by this author, and I'm very excited to read more from her. This follows a kid that gets plucked from his home in China to go study at the prestigious Oxford University. It has a magic system that involves combining silver and language together that's just like super cool, and mainly has themes of colonialism. Highly recommend. Really good. And the third book in the Legendborn cycle.
You loved that.
I
one.
loved
She
this
talked about that a lot.
so much that I'm surprised I haven't mentioned it yet. I will say this was not my favorite of the series, but I see why it was necessary to have this one. And just top tier, if you don't know, this follows a King Arthur story retelling, but it follows a young black girl who's kind of thrown into this notoriously white society. So it's her dealing with navigating that, but then it also has themes of grief and trauma, and it's just so good. And it's a young adult book, so it's like accessible for young people, but it doesn't feel young at the same time. Like adults can very much.
Like she has powers.
You will see. You have to read to find out. And then I have to nominate Sunrise on the Reaping again. So excited for the movie. Cannot wait. And the last one, I've mentioned it in a few categories. You probably know. I'm going to say Onyx Storm. This is one that I didn't rate 5 stars, but it's one that has stuck with me all year, and I'm so excited to see how the series pans out. And this is one of the rare cases where I feel like the series is like getting progressively better. So it's exciting and hopeful. Pelodius.
We've made it to the best book of the year. The first girl chose Sunrise on the Reaping. I'm also a fan.
Wow. Let's see if we have the same one,
All
eh?
right, yes. This
To
is
let
gonna be
you
the
know.
weirdest video.
I know. I'm sick and unprepared. I only had 2 5-stars of the year, and so I feel like if I nominated other ones, I can, but obviously I'm gonna pick
Do what
one
you
of
want.
the
You
2
have free will.
5-stars. So that would definitely be The Way of Kings.
So good.
Yeah, not even this.
A worthy
Like an
nominee.
entire
a
like.
worthy nominee.
This one was so good. I loved it because I did have issues with the Mistborn trilogy. The pacing, it just felt slow at times, and I was like ready to get to where we needed to go in it. They all ended phenomenally, and as an overall series, I think it was fantastic. It just, I had like little moments here and there, which also I have my entire book reactions to that entire series in a playlist under, I think, Brandon Sanderson on our channel, so go look at that if you want to see. And that is my first one, and then my second one is the same as you, which is Sunrise on the Reaping. It was my only other 5-star read. It just was so good, and everything I wanted it to be. I've wanted Haymitch's story forever because we
Yeah.
got little tastes of it in the original series, and then if real ones know the Mainstay Pro videos back in the day.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
And I was
ate
like,
those up.
I need this. So yeah, this just checked out. Really beautiful quotes, really relevant to today. And I thought this book was fantastic. And so I'm only nominating those 2 as my favorites.
The
of
main
year.
like qualm people had with this one was that it was fan service, and consider me serviced because I freaking loved it.
I think that's kind of a dumb thing to say though. Like Haymitch is in the original trilogy, and
it
she's
shows
been
that
doing prequels.
the reason, it's because like a lot of characters showed up in this one that you saw in the previous trilogy,
that's
but it shows
because-
why like they were the ones that showed up. You know, everybody had a meaning, and I loved it.
It makes sense though, because they're all the victors, and so obviously when you go to the games, it's going to be the same groupings of people every time. So I think those are
I agree.
silly, and they should be ignored, and you should listen to me.
And just the message for this day and age.
So
was
good, yeah.
fantastic.
About propaganda and just like the beautiful quotes between Lenore Dove in the beginning, and I don't know, it just painted a very vivid picture and I was eating it up.
Yeah.
Pelodius.
The second wench, of course. The Way of Kings.
I had to do it. I just want to say some quick, fast things. I wanted to shout out a couple things that Book Talk made me buy it, and it was kind of a letdown. And that would be, and I'm so mad about the entire freaking trilogy, The Kingdom of the
Still
Wicked
fun to
series.
have for your library.
The Kingdom of the Wicked series. I got the whole trilogy. There were moments that I liked. I liked Wrath, which is the male main character, but I felt the pacing was just very off. There was way too many creatures to the point where it was overkill and just started to feel cheesy to me.
I don't like that.
So yeah, this one, TikTok made me do it, kind of a letdown. I'm giving this one another chance, but the Book of Azrael, there's just so many more books in this series, and I've heard that they're better after the first book, so I do want to give it another chance. Once again, it wasn't like I hated it and DNF'd it, but I was just kind of, I don't know, it just wasn't what I was expecting. I felt like the characters, they're supposed to be like centuries old and they were like acting like teenagers, and it just like wasn't meshing in my brain for me. My sister, not TikTok, made me buy it.
Oh, not me. The other one.
Our other sister, the other Mrs. It was like a thriller about this girl. It wasn't good. The plot twist was like stupid, and it was just really disappointing. I rated it 2 stars, and I thought that was the lowest I would go this year, but then there goes Fearful, ruining everything. Honorable mentions. I recently read the duology, The Crowns of Nyaxia, and so it's The Serpent and the Wings of Night and The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King.
What is that called?
The Crowns of Nyaxia.
I've never known that.
I like gobbled up The Serpent and the Wings of Night. I was on holiday break and I just like finished it really fast. I was like really into it. I didn't mention it here because it wasn't like some profound, unique thing, but I just did really, really enjoy it in its moment. And then they had like a little novella that's a spin-off of a character from that duology, and it was called Six Scorched Roses, and it was actually surprisingly really good. And it was just a little novella, and I felt like it was like a really robust story that kind of like covered everything, and I was like impressed with it. I just finished Anathema, and it was kind of weird. I don't know how I feel about it yet. Anathema had some themes that were a little uncomfy.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I don't know how I feel about it yet, but I definitely want to continue that series as well.
I'll just do one honorable mention is The Emperor's Soul by Brandon Sanderson. It was so good, and I need you to read it.
The Emperor's Soul.
The Emperor's Soul.
I haven't
It's
heard
just
that
standalone novella, and I think it won an award for something, and it just felt like a fully flushed, really cool world, and it was a quick 3-hour novella that I listened to on graphic audio.
Love that.
So they have a graphic audio, definitely worth the checkout.
That's all we got to wrap up our 2025. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you on the next one.
And that's a wrap. Thank you.
Bye.
Ooh, first try.